Hello everyone, welcome back to a very special video. I'm DTM and we have with us the March 2026 SDS usage data from the players that reached rank 1 and we were able to get the data from. This is the latest installment of this series where we go over the last SDS or SDR season and see what units were used and what was the meta like and what teams did people try out. And so excited to do this again. As always, if you like the content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that jazz to help support the channel. Only takes 5 seconds to subscribe, but it truly does help out this channel a lot. And I really do appreciate all the constant support. So yeah, this season was pretty interesting because unlike past seasons of this year, in terms of like the captain skills, it was a lot more split. Obviously, tandem form didn't see that much usage, but in terms of like Eminence and Piercing Cold, there were uses for both of them depending on the team. Like some teams appreciate the Frozen support more, while other teams appreciate like the Pathfinder. And so it was actually a lot more interesting on the captain skill side. When it comes from the bonus side, we also get this sense of a more even split because of the fact that none of these units, as we'll see, are particularly that meta. Like Fjorm is the most used, but only at 42% usage. So it wasn't like last season where basically a lot of people use Elise because she was bonus. To a lesser extent, Byleth as well, but yeah. When it comes to like the actual usage data, we have Alphador once again reigning the king at number 1. What can I say about Alphador that I haven't said? Like him being able to take the bonuses of not just the bonuses on your team, but the enemy team as well is really, really strong. It means that if the enemy team has like Heimdallr, Alphador can just get that cancel from that. And so it acts as sort of like a soft counter in a way. Or you can run Alphador with Heimdallr, get the cancel from that. And the thing is, he is able to share that cancel along with all the bonuses that he steals to another unit. And that is just insanely strong, allows them to be protected with the cancel, in addition to have all the insane buffs, which could potentially be extra movement, things like that. So yeah, Alphador in the current meta is just the king. He is at number 1 for a very good reason. At number 2, we have Baldur. Baldur is the primary nuke of this season. She not only nukes really, really hard, but is also really hard to take out as well. I will say, I think this season we're starting to see folks figure out ways to handle Baldur in terms of being able to tank her hits. We started seeing more like colorless or blue units, which Baldur can struggle to take out due to the fact that she mainly uses the weapon triangle advantage to get a lot of her powerful effects like Arch Rival or the Brave. So you actually start to see Baldur with Erica Ring, which is really, really interesting. Also, we have units like Erica that can basically shred Baldur unless she's like wailed out and has like Ike Ring. And so we are starting to see Baldur be less tanky than what she used to be. However, that still doesn't diminish her capabilities as a unit overall. It still is the fact that she is the most powerful nuke in the game. And so the fact that people are preparing for her and she's still this high just goes to show how powerful she is. And so yeah, Baldur, really, really strong. Insanely strong nuke and insanely hard to take out. There's a reason why she's at number 2. And then at number 3, we have Sakura. Sakura's here for salvage support and for being a healer. Her being a healer means that she can run Ice Lock, which is really, really good for the stalling and the protection that the ice gives. Or you can choose to run Guardian Plus, which allows you to make a unit a physical save. You can use a unit like Valley or even more obscure units like Noir, for instance. Those are just options. Most people do run Ice Lock though, because in general, the 2 range from Ice Lock protection there with the ice is just a lot more useful for the type of team Sakura is generally run on. And also, obviously as a healer, healers are one of the best users of Byleth Ring, and so Sakura is a primary user of Byleth Ring, which makes her roll compression insanely strong, being able to combo very, very well with her salvage support, right? Sakura really, really likes units that can go in and use that salvage to go back. And with the addition of Byleth Ring, Sakura can then like ice lock the unit that just retreated, dance them, and re-enable their Kanto. And so that unit can then go in, take out another unit, and then come back. And so that is just really, really good synergy when it comes to Sakura with Byleth Ring that basically no other healers have. She really appreciates the re-enablement of Kanto Dance there. And so, yeah, Salvage obviously is her main reason to use her and is still insanely strong. There's no counter to her Salvage yet. Everyone wants to retreat, get out of the way after they take out a unit. Yeah, nothing much else to say about that. Salvage is good. Who would have thought? And then at number 4 and also number 5, we're going to do both of these at the same time because they basically do the same thing. We have Heimdallers. Yeah, Heimdallr is the best form of protection we have right now, and is partly the reason why we are seeing a decline in save units. Obviously, save units have also been struggling with more and more strong nukes, and so having a way to provide that protection that doesn't matter how strong the nuke is really good. And Heimdallr provides that with the cancel. The cancel effect, obviously, it doesn't matter how strong the enemy team is. If the enemy attacks a unit with the cancel, they just end action, and you're protected that way. And so it's just a lot more consistent than a save, where obviously with a save, the save can be killed, and then you're down a unit, which is really, really bad when it comes to SD because it limits your action eco, and also you just lost your protection, right? So your units are all exposed. And so yeah, Heimdallr continues to still be a very, very huge menace. Yeah, cancel strong. I don't know what else to say, obviously. Like, I've done these for quite a while, and yeah, the cancel is still strong. There was a sense in that TIKI would make Heimdallr even more broken by removing one of the primary ways to deal with the cancel, that being THORR button. As you see, TIKI, even though she is bonus, is not that used that often. So THORR still works against Heimdallr cancels most of the time, since most of the time you won't see TIKI. Also, we have Elise, which can pop the cancel, and also other units with Lin Ring as well can pop the cancel. And so those are the ways you see people deal with Heimdallr, and so that's why you don't see her at like in the 80 range like these three. But yeah, that doesn't detract from the fact that Heimdallr is insanely meta right now. At number 6, we have New Year's Valley, and New Year's Valley is probably the best tank we have just due to the Super Miracle. And so Valley provides really, really good frontlining capability in terms of that, like, you know, just being able to be out there, provide that threat range, so that the opponent can't just like go in willy-nilly and still be unable to deal with New Year's Valley. Her just being such a nuisance and being unable to kill means that for most units on the enemy team, they just have to try to work around Valley, which allows her to go really deep and be very disruptive for the enemy team's maneuvers. In addition, you also see a lot of people use Valley as a save unit, either through Guardian, making her into a physical save, with Ichthynir as a magic save, or just in Thorn Balls or things like that. Valley is really, really strong in that savior role. It is not impregnable season, so you don't see it too often, but there are occasions where people do use Valley for that effect. Most of the time, though, she's just there to be a tanky front line, and yeah, she's really, really strong at that. And the fact that the opponent can't kill her when she gets into the enemy's threat range means that they can't get rid of Valley, and therefore they have to be very careful in how they approach Valley to be able to get to the team units behind Valley that she is protecting with the front line. And so, yeah, Valley, very, very strong units as always. Very, very hard to kill with a super miracle. And so she's just really frustrating to deal with. So at number 7 is Elise at 68% usage. Elise, she was number 5 previously because she was bonus. So she has dropped like 2 steps. Obviously, though, the things that she does provide is still relatively good, right? Like her style means that she can very easily pop Heimdallr's cancel to allow the rest of your team to actually attack the enemy. If there is no Heimdallr, she can still either gravity the unit with a style or clear out terrain. Clearing out the terrain is actually insanely strong because Corrin Ring is one of the best ways to like obstruct the enemy from going in. And so having Elise just clear that out so that your melee or ranged nukes can just go in and attack is really, really good for that. That being said, on this particular map, it was really hard to line up Elise properly to be able to effectively use the style. Her cardinal direction, like 3 rows or 3 columns range, in addition to the 6 range limit on the style, means that she has to be both close enough to be able to like target a unit within that 6 range, but also line up the cardinal directions correctly, which was really difficult on this map because on this map, units were generally approaching on a diagonal direction. And honestly, that seems to be a theme because like she had this issue last SDS as well, where the map wasn't as good for Elise, just due to the fact that it wasn't as easy to line up with the style. I think this might be a trend for Elise as we are starting to see more and more data when it comes to like her usage in these type of maps. That being said, though, the things that she actually does provide when you get the style off is still really, really strong. Her being a healer is still really good because Ice Lock is still strong as always. And you can even use Byleth Ring on Elise to have that insane roll compression by making her into a dancer that re-enables Canto, which is really good. So yeah, don't get me wrong, Elise is still really, really good. It's just that compared to how she was hyped, which was like insanely meta broken Sakura level, she hasn't reached that height yet, from what I've seen. Obviously, still really good. Number 7 for a reason, but yeah. All right, for number 8, we are actually tied with Chrom and THORR, both sharing number 8. Chrom is basically like Alphador, but trades in the ability that Alphador has to just take bonuses everywhere, for the fact that he can have extra action economy with the To Change Fate. So he still maintains his action without the need for Micaiah Ring. That's his primary advantage. Though, honestly, I think most people would agree Alphador got the better end of that trade because being able to steal all the bonuses, not just from your allies, but from the enemies as well, is just a lot quicker to be able to apply the bonuses that you want on your target unit. And if not quicker, it's just a lot more flexible, right? Because when it comes to Chrom, you have to have the bonuses on Chrom himself. And so this means that in general, you're not going to get like effects like Gallop, and you have to be worried about like making sure Chrom gets the cancel from Heimdallr if you do use Chrom with Heimdallr. So that can be a little bit awkward with like the type of positionings you actually do want to have with your opening and stuff like that. But regardless, like Chrom obviously still has bonus sharing, which is the main thing that makes Chrom and Alphador very, very powerful. And so, yeah, even though Chrom is not as good as that compared to Alphador, just being able to bonus share itself means that Chrom is insanely strong. And so, yeah, that's why we see him here at number 8. Similar to that, but on the opposite direction, we have THORR. Whereas Chrom shares bonuses, THORR takes bonuses away with a dual button. And even though we have Mythic Tiki, which does like prevent THORR's button from working, as you see, Tiki's not that used that often, even though it's her bonus season. And so, yeah, you're basically just free to run THORR, and most of the time it's fine, right? And it's an unfortunate fact that Heimdallr's best counter is THORR. And so as long as the Heimdallrs are still highly used, you will see THORR highly used, especially because, like, again, you don't see TIKI. If you do see TIKI and she's with a Heimdallr team for SDS, you can just ban it. And so THORR still gets a lot of usage that way by just being able to deny the Heimdallr cancel. And not just that, but also like bonuses in general. Like, I know we talk about her button as primarily a way to deal with Heimdallr, but there's a lot of bonuses that are really annoying to deal with that THORR can just flat out remove, right? Like, there's a lot of neutralizes foe bonuses. There's a lot of like effects like from reflex or like all sorts of things. Salvage, for instance. So yeah, THORR is just really, really good at just clearing all that out. And so yeah, still at number 8. Still strong even with the existence of TIKI, because THORR is basically the best option right now. Like, yeah, Elise can pop Heimdallr cancel, but THORR is better at removing Heimdallr, honestly. Has better range, has infinite range, honestly, within the 5 rows or 5 columns, which is more than Elise's 3 rows and 3 columns, limited to 6 range. And yeah, THORR can also just deal with other bonuses as well, like Assign Decoy and all the other things. So yeah, THORR still really, really strong. And then last, but certainly not least, we have Erica. Erica is new to this SDS, and yeah, Erica is probably the best magic nuke right now. She hits really, really hard when her special procs. She gets an insane amount of true damage, and not only that, but she has the same range as Summer Celica and Brave Harmonic Lyn. And so she has the insane range and the damage to back it up. So she is basically just the premier magic nuke right now. And probably the premier range nuke in general. Yeah, she is the highest range nuke. Like, the next one is probably like Ivy or Lyn. And so yeah, Erica does make it there. And yeah, there's not much to say about Erica, honestly. She just hits really, really hard and has the same 3 range that Summer Celica did, but without any of the drawbacks of having damage. And so yeah, Spring Erica, our next nuke buster. And the fact that she's even able to deal with Baldur, even with the weapon triangle disadvantage, except for those that are like extremely wailed out, just goes to show how strong of a nuke she is. So yeah, that's the top 10. It was an interesting season when it comes to like the usage data. If you remember previously, we saw Emblem Byleth on the list at around 46% usage rate. To be fair, Emblem Byleth was bonus last season, so it could be that Emblem Byleth usage was inflated last season, but now, where's Emblem Byleth? Yeah, only at 13%. So from 46% to 13%, that's a pretty deep drop. And I think, unfortunately, for most teams, you don't really need to run Emblem Byleth. Most teams would rather have like a dancer that can be like, have something special like Azura's 2 range, or honestly, the biggest problem with Byleth is that Byleth Ring basically does everything you would want out of Emblem Byleth, just with the ring. And you can't have 2 dancers on a team. Yeah, Emblem Byleth, his main claim to fame is being able to dance 2 units at the same time, which is insane for action eco. But unfortunately, having too much action eco in SDS or SDR doesn't help, because you are limited to 6 movement crystals. And so if you exceed like 9 total movement, it just has a lot of diminishing returns. So that's why you don't really see Byleth all that often, unfortunately. Another unit I want to spotlight is Chosen Fjorm, because Chosen Fjorm is bonus, right? She's one of the bonus units and is the most used bonus. So she did rose from last month from 21% to 42%. I'm not sure how much of that is just due to because of her being a bonus. I would say the vast majority of it is. FEORM can be really flip-floppy when it comes to her matchups. She's either very unkillable or just folds like paper. And so I find her personally pretty inconsistent. So I do think that after her bonus season is over, and she's no longer bonus for the next season, I do think we'll see FEORM drop back down because, unfortunately, I don't think FEORM really does anything that Brave Harmonic Celica can't. And so, yeah. Yeah. But regardless, her being bonus does mean that she does get a huge rise. And so, yeah, we do see her step up from last month. Speaking of things from last month, Mythic TIKI is new. And so theoretically, going from 0% to 36% is really good. Unfortunately, her being bonus at 36% doesn't bode well because obviously when it's your bonus season, your usage will get inflated just due to people slotting her in to take advantage of the bonus lift. And so unfortunately, I think most people would agree that Mythic TIKI is not that good as a save unit, especially against our current crops of nukes. And so really you're just using Mythic TIKI for being a counter to Summer THORR and to a lesser extent, Mythic Loki. Unfortunately, that's not really good enough to justify slotting in a mediocre save unit. And so you only really see a 36% usage instead of potentially like an over 50% that you might see otherwise. And so, yeah, unfortunately, TIKI kind of did not do that well considering it's her bonus season. But, you know, 0% to 36%, I guess, is technically an improvement, I guess. Whatever. One unit that dropped really, really hard, actually, is... Where is she? There she is. Young Camilla. Oh, man, Young Camilla dropped really far. Last month, Young Camilla was at 68%. And I remember I was saying about how Young Camilla was having a revival thanks to Elise being able to apply the terrain that Camilla can warp to. Unfortunately, we again see a drop here. And I think this is because of a variety of reasons. One, as I mentioned, it was actually pretty hard to get Elise's style off just due to how the map works. And therefore, that affected Camilla because if Elise can't get the style off, Camilla doesn't have the terrain to warp to. And so it did make her harder to use, which makes her less effective. Also, I just think we have like a really good amount of nukes that can do what Camilla does to a certain extent, right? I'm not talking about her like warping or anything. I'm just talking about her doing damage, which Camilla has a lot of damage. But now that we have like Brave Harmonic Celica and Spring Erica, the fact that Camilla does do a lot of damage does mean that like that fact that Camilla can do a lot of damage is not as unique to Camilla anymore. And so like her flaws in terms of being able to get in without terrain or needing the help of Elise to be able to apply that terrain stand out a lot more. Before, you can sort of excuse it because she was that uniquely powerful. But now that we have nukes comparable to her power level in terms of nuking, it makes her flaws stand out more, which I think is why you do see her drop quite a bit. That would be my guess for why Camilla dropped like 30 percentage points. It is a huge drop. We'll see how permanent this is, though, on the next SDS. If this is a trend, then it might be the end for the reign of Camilla, but we'll see. We'll see. One unit, okay, the last unit I want to spotlight is Brave Icthonier, who actually did have quite a bit of a rise. Last season, Icthonier was at a mere 14%, which is like very paltry, right? Like 14 percentage points is basically at the niche category when it comes to SDS. But now Ichthenier is at 44% usage, which is a huge substantial increase, and now brings him like very near to the top 10. Like he's actually top 15, which is a really big turnaround. And I think the primary reason for that is that the Chinese players really, really love Ichthenier. Basically, Ichthenier features really heavily in one of their copy pastas, which we'll get to eventually. But yeah, being featured on a Chinese copy pasta is guaranteed to make your usage goes up. And also, Brave Ichthenier is actually really good at dealing with Balder because Ichthenier is colorless. Balder can struggle to take out units that she doesn't have weapon triangle advantage against. So like colorless and blue units. And so, yeah, Ichthenier is actually one of the saves that can handle Balder reasonably well, which makes him stand out in terms of like the other saves and makes him actually usable as like a save unit. In addition, with Ichthenier, you have like the physical save, and so you are covered by all like the 2 range, 3 range stuff that you see a lot. And also you grant the magic save to another unit. And so you have full coverage with Ichthenier, which makes these sort of Ichthenier balls very, very strong in terms of the protection it has on your team. And basically the only one that can really rival the Heimdallers in terms of the protection it can provide. And so, yeah, that's why we have Ichthenier rising up. You love to see it. You love to see units making a comeback. So yeah, that's in terms of the units. In terms of the teams that we saw, the copy pastas were actually really interesting this time around. The most used copy pasta is this one. I was mentioning Ichthenier before. This is a Chinese copy pasta that features Ichthenier quite heavily. We have Ichthenier, Erica, Tana, Tharja, and Veronica. Tharja here is supported with Ichthenier. So Tharja is actually the magic save of this team, which you might think is odd because you generally think of Tharja as like a nuke. But actually, Tharja, because she has special denial, she prevents foes from proccing their specials unless it's an AoE. That combined with her damage reduction means that she's actually deceptively bulky, especially against magic users. You have to remember, like, one of the primary magic nukes, that is Erica, primarily relies on her special and special spamming to be able to get the insane true damage that she has. But with Tharja, you deny those specials. And so Erica is like insanely limited thanks to that. And so, yeah, Tharja is actually able to survive a lot of the magic threats we have currently, and so works really well as a magic save against Ichthenier. And also, she is a secondary mage nuke, like she can still nuke. Having the anathema, I think, is really good at cutting down the defenses of the enemy. And so, yeah, these two are just a really good combo right now. Spring Erica is the primary nuke. I mentioned this before, but Spring Erica both has the range and the damage to like perform that role very, very effectively. Pretty much, I want to say the strongest range nuke. Maybe the strongest like nuke in general, in terms of just pure damage output. And so, yeah, Veronica here is kind of obvious. Veronica here provides the good support. Feud is very, very strong to deny the Valley support when it comes to Miracle. And so, yeah, Veronica being able to have Feud is really, really good. And of course, she also has like the action eco, and you can combine that with Byleth Ring so that she can also act as the dancer, so that Spring Erica can get danced again and then go back in to attack the enemy. Funny thing about Veronica and Byleth Ring is that with Byleth Ring, if you like run swap on Veronica and you swap an active unit, Byleth Ring isn't actually used then. It is only used when you swap with a unit that is inactive. And so you don't have to worry about like using your Byleth Ring too early when it comes to like doing your opening and stuff. If you like are trying to swap in an active unit. And so that way you can like conserve your Byleth charges and make best use of Byleth Ring. And so Veronica just works really, really well there. Tana is a really good melee nuke flyer. Melee flyers are just instantly strong with the type of skills we have, like with Heavenly Soar and Blue Sky Gust and stuff like that. So Tana just gets the melee flyer kit, and her Refine is actually insanely strong and makes her into a very effective warp beacon that the other units can warp in. And so yeah, this team is really, really good. This is also the same team, but swapping out Tharja for Tiki. This is, you know, when you run out of lives and need a bonus unit, you replace Tharja magic save with Tiki magic save. So it's basically the same team. So we could probably just add like 5 to this and it'll be like 15 or something. But yeah. Team number 2, I think you've seen this before. We have our Alphador Baldur Heimdallr core, the classic. Obviously, Heimdallr provides the cancel. Alphador shares that with Baldur or the rest of the team. Hilda's here to support Baldur by providing the Brave and the additional support that Hilda provides. And then THORR is here to get rid of the opponent's bonuses, including any cancel that is on the opponent's team. And so, yeah, we talked about how THORR is still really, really good despite the existence of Tiki. And so, yeah, she just fits into this comp really well. And yeah, the idea is that you get Baldur with a cancel, send her in, and then have Baldur take out a unit and retreat. Or run Edelgard Ring on Baldur and have her stay there menacingly. Like, we all know how this team works. I don't need to explain it. All right, number 3 is interesting. We have an Azura, Byleth, Elise, Mia, Valley team. Valley is generally the captain and is generally running both Lin Ring and Favor. And what she does is she repos in Byleth and takes a position in front of Byleth with the Canto, so that she provides like that frontline protection. So that obviously helps Byleth get into position, applies like the debuffs with a favor on the enemy team, and provides that frontline protection. Mia is here to provide reflex support to Byleth, as well as act as like a secondary melee nuke. And then yeah, Byleth is the primary nuke in this type of team. He generally runs Brutal Tempest or like gets extra movement from somewhere else, and then like uses the 3 range to wreak havoc, which he is able to do with reflex and the favor support. He does need a lot of support to be able to effectively nuke things, but when he does have that support with Mia, with Valley favor, plus like the miracle that Valley provides to make use of that reflex even more, Byleth just becomes an actual effective nuke. And, you know, 3 range is good. Who would have thought? So yeah, Azura's here to dance Byleth and re-enable that cancel for him. And then Elise is there to remove any saves in case Byleth struggles against a particular save unit, so that Byleth can target a weaker unit, potentially more squishy unit. And also provides like the terrain with Ice Lock, provides the Heimdallr cancel popping. I've talked about Elise, but yeah, Elise is just a really good support there. And then at number 4, we have the Ivy, Lynn, Plumeria, Sakura Valley team. Sakura, you know, this is a salvage team, so the idea is to go in and out frequently. So yeah, that's why we see Sakura here to provide that salvage support. Valley, like the previous team, is generally run as the captain. Valley generally repositions Lynn and provides that favor support as well. And yeah, obviously Lynn is the primary nuke. Lynn has the best range out of all these with the 3 range. And one of her major weaknesses is that her Canto is only Canto remaining. It's not like Canto distance or anything like that. So normally when you go in with Lynn, it's hard to bring her back. But obviously that is patched when you have Sakura, because Sakura has salvage. And so Lynn could just cancel all the way back to Sakura. And her problems with the Kanto distance is solved. So that is actually relatively synergistic and compensates for Lin's weaknesses, which is really, really good. Ivy is generally supported with Valley here to provide an extra like nuking option. Because Ivy, when you're like within range of Valley, can just like warp within 2 range of Valley, which allows Ivy to extend her threat range and provide that cover and secondary nuking option after like Lin does her thing. And then we have Plumeria here for the dance and re-enable Kanto. Again, re-enable Kanto is really, really strong when you pair it up with Sakura. And so what you can do is have Lin go in, retreat all the way back with Sakura's salvage, dance with Plumeria, and then Lin can go back in again, take out another unit, and then Kanto all the way back with Sakura. And so any dancer that can re-enable Kanto is really strong on Sakura teams, and Plumeria is one of them, and so that's why you see her here. But yeah, those are the primary teams, or primary copy pastas that we saw this season. All of them are the Chinese copy pastas, but you know, the Chinese copy pastas are the most prevalent. So yeah, you love to see it. But yeah, I want to go back to the usage rates here and take a look at some of the regional trends, because previously we were primarily looking at the overall usage, but when we look at the individual region usage, there are some very interesting things. For example, when it comes to the CN community, the CN community really hates Chrom and Celica for whatever reason. I don't know why. For Chrom, I guess his limitations of not being able to share bonuses other than the bonuses already on himself makes him very inflexible, especially when it compares to Alphador, which Alphador has 100% usage in the CN community. So they probably don't want to rely on that sort of limited bonus sharing that much, and rather just like deal with a new archetype. And when it comes to Celica, I think most of the CN community chose to use Byleth instead, because we did see in the team frequency that Byleth was one of the primary components in the top 4 copy pastas here. And so I feel like the Chinese community like disavowed Celica in favor of Byleth, which I guess makes sense because generally these two are swappable. And so, yeah. For that reason, like Celica is not used that often. That being said, they are the biggest adopters of Erica, right? Like 80% usage here compared to like the 50 or 40 in the other regions. This just fits with the theme of the Chinese community being the quickest adopters of meta units. They're generally on the bleeding edge when it comes to like meta development. And you see that here with a lot of them using the most recent, most powerful nuke that we have. Another unit that they really, really like is Azura. This is actually an insane discrepancy here. Like you look at EN usage, it's only 6%. You look at JP usage, it's only 5%. But in CN, it is 69%, almost 70%. That is like a 10 times difference, which is actually insanely crazy. I guess like the CN community are just huge Azura fans. They're not buying the propaganda that Byleth Ring makes dancers obsolete, especially because you can only use one Byleth Ring per team, per like brigade. And so having other dancers that can re-enable Kanto is good. And Azura can re-enable Kanto and from 2 range. And so, yeah, being able to re-enable Kanto in combination with like Byleth and the Kanto is just, yeah, it's just a really strong combo. And so, yeah, CN community, really huge fans of Azura. You love to see it. Meanwhile, on the JP community, the JP community hates THORR. Like the same way how the CN community hates Chrom, the JP community hates THORR. They must have thought that TIKI would be a lot more prevalent than she actually was, and were probably scared off by the fact that TIKI was the bonus unit. And so they were worried that if they brought THORR in, it might be a dead slot if they run into TIKI teams. But as we see, TIKI was not that highly used, so it is a little bit unfortunate. And yeah, if like the JP or CN usage rates were comparable to like the other ones in the other regions, like they would be like in the top 5 above Heimdallers. So yeah, unfortunately there was some region bias there that depressed these two usage rates. But yeah, THORR did not find fans in the JP community, unfortunately. The unit that actually did find a fan in the JP community is Minerva. Obviously to a lesser extent than Azura, but like it's still a pretty significant jump between the previous regions. Like we have around the 13 and 19. This one has the 35. Minerva is actually like secretly cracked, I feel, because she's a melee dancer, and melee dancers in general are the easiest like movement type and weapon type to make good with just like a generic weapon. But Minerva doesn't have a generic weapon. She has a weapon that provides frozen support, and frozen support is still really, really good to this day. And so you can put Minerva in, run Eminence and stuff like that, and yeah, go to town. And so yeah, JP community found really good use of Minerva there. You love to see it. I would say the EN community is generally a lot more average, but not totally. Like, we do have the EN community not appreciating Tharja that much. I do think this is a fairly historical trend in that I've generally not seen a lot of EN Tharja users. They must have probably not pulled on this banner. And so, yeah, this makes sense just in terms of like the amount of EN community members that actually have Tharja. Meanwhile, the EN community is really high on Fomortis, especially after his refine. This is another unit that I think is like secretly cracked because Fomortis actually got a really, really good refine to massively improve his tankiness to the point where like Fomortis can tank a lot of the strong units like Baldur. Like Fomortis is colorless, and so Baldur definitely struggles to kill Fomortis. And so I feel like this is a slept on option when it comes to just save tanks. And so yeah, glad to see more members of the EN community finding good usage out of Fomortis. We love to see it. But yeah, that is the data. Now we have to crown the top 3 least meta teams, or the top 3 free thinker teams. For those of you who don't know, in addition to this data, we also use this data to basically calculate each player's meta coefficient, which is basically a measure of how much of a meta slave they are or how many meta units they used. It basically adds up the usages of all the units that they have to calculate a score, and then we rank them. And so yeah, from that we can see the top 3 least meta teams. And at number 3 least meta team, we have Zfin. So Zfin, once again, went back to doing the all swords challenge. All of these units are swords, every single one. And yeah, they were able to reach rank 1 with the all swords challenge, which I personally find really, really crazy because like red units are in general like really easy to take out because, you know, Baldur is blue and can easily take that out. However, we do have some pretty powerful sword units when it comes to like Byleth and Mia here, Ryoma and Black Knight combo, Brave Celica. Team 4 is just a dead team, and so they just didn't use Team 4. But yeah, like within the scatterings of these sword units, like we do have some very strong units that can compensate for the fact that they did the all swords run. So yeah, congratulations to Zfin for reaching rank 1 with all swords and for reaching number 3 in the most free thinker or least meta teams. All right, at number 2, we have Yuki. So Yuki ran a very interesting team comp. They decided to go with an Alib theme team featuring Ninian and Fiora mostly. Like obviously we have Florina, Juno, Zealot here. We have Nils, Lin. I guess Florina technically counts here as well. Same with TIKI. So yeah, like really, really cool that they were able to get these sort of theme teams to rank 1. I'm gonna be real. I don't know how they did it because these teams look really terrible to play with. Although maybe it's not that bad, right? Like, again, we talked about how melee flyers are just in general so good. And so, yeah, Fiora probably does really, really well, even just with a generic melee flyer build of Heavenly Sword, Blue Sky Gust, etc., etc. Minerva, we talked about being a very good sleeper option. Probably same thing with this team here. Fjorm and Mia can provide the damage here, and Niffle provides a really huge disruption with the ice on the enemy team, same with Hrid. And then, yeah, I'm not sure about this team, honestly. But again, congrats to Yuki for reaching rank 1 with this Alib theme team and for reaching number 2, free thinker and least meta player. And last, but certainly not least, we have the number 1 least meta, most free thinker team, and that is Evan KPB. So Evan once again managed to get the crown and once again features the double Needhogger. Really, really big fan of the snakes I see. I faced off against Evan during my run, and yeah, I banned both of them because I just knew that Evan is a huge fan of the snakes, so probably has them built really, really well. But I was not expecting the fact that this team is also super, super cracked. A Hortensia provides the Guardian to Ike, so we have double save coverage with physical and magic here. Anand, melee flyers are just in general good. Same with the Thorba, and then Panini provides the dance. And so, yeah, I lost this match. And so, yeah, I will remember that for the next time, I guess. But yeah, it's really, really cool to see all these less used, basically only used by Evan units being used to great effect and reaching rank 1. You love to see it. Congrats to Evan for reaching rank 1 and being number 1. Least meta, most free thinker teams. Congrats. Okay, before we end it off, I do want to give an honorable mention. The first is to the 3 players that did an all Awakening theme team. It was actually crazy to see 3 Awakening theme teams reach rank 1. The first is from this player. We see Lynn, Crom, Morgan, Myrrh, Plumeria, Robin, etc. All of these units have Awakening origin. And the last team is obviously just a dead team, so they were primarily using these 3 teams. Yeah, it's all legit. And yeah, it's amazing that they were able to reach it for that. We also have this Awakening theme team here. Once again, featuring Morgan. Morgan is probably slept on quite a bit. She's not insanely strong, but again, with the skills that melee flyers have, Morgan actually works relatively well. And yeah, all these units are again Awakening. You'll love to see it. And then there was one more Awakening theme team somewhere. Oh yeah, this is the all Ingrid person. You love to see it. Where are you? Here somewhere. Okay, I probably should have. Oh, here it is. Yeah, and then we have this other Awakening theme team. So again, that's 3 Awakening theme teams, which again is absolutely amazing. It just goes to show that Awakenings fans are the best fans, without a doubt. So yeah, Thank you everyone for joining and watching the data report. I hope you learned something from this. If not, at least take this in mind that Awakening fans are the best fans. We saved the series after all, so I think we deserve more Awakening alts, more Lucina alts. So yeah, thank you everyone. Hopefully you all enjoyed. Let us know down in the comments what your thoughts are on the units that rose and fall this time around, and what you think will rise and fall for the next season. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and see you all next time. Bye everyone.